I woke up in Pripyat on April 26th, 1986. Chernobyl explodes in under 3 hours, and nobody knows it yet. That horizon is Chernobyl, and I know exactly what happens tonight. If I cannot make people listen, this city stays asleep. This newspaper proves the date, and my stomach just dropped. I am not near history. I am inside its countdown. No. The date is real, the place is real, and everyone here has less time than they think. Look at them walking home like nothing can touch this city. That is the hook. I know what hits them before sunrise. That glow is the plant. In a few hours, the world will know this name. But tonight, nobody believes me. Those workers are heading toward the station right now. I am trying to stop them before their normal shift becomes history. They think I am drunk, lost, or playing a cruel joke. Nobody believes the stranger who arrives with tomorrow's disaster. The schedule says another bus leaves soon for the plant, which means I still have minutes to make someone listen. You need to see this. This courtyard is silent except for my footsteps, and that makes it worse, because ordinary life is still sleeping around me. There are toys in the sandpit, windows glowing above me, and a nuclear plant changing the future just beyond those trees. I am looking for anyone with a working line, anyone important, anyone willing to hear the word evacuation before sunrise. A man opened the door, saw my face, heard one sentence about radiation, and closed it before I could finish. The radio is calm. Music, weather, routine voices. Nothing about alarms, nothing about fire, nothing about the station. I keep turning the dial, but every station sounds normal, and that normality feels more terrifying than any siren. There it is again, April 26th. The room, the clothes, the air, all of it matches the nightmare exactly. I am keeping this newspaper because it is the only proof I have, even if proof from the future convinces nobody. The elevator lights are flickering, and I hate being trapped in a metal box while the clock keeps moving outside. It stopped for a second, just long enough for me to imagine losing the next 2 hours in here.
I am back outside. The air smells like rain and metal, and the city still refuses to look afraid.
I found a public line, and I am calling emergency services, because someone official has to record this warning. The operator thinks I am confused. I said Reactor 4, accident tonight, Pripyat evacuation, and she told me to calm down. I can hear myself sounding hysterical, but how do you say the future is on fire without sounding hysterical? One delivery man said the plant always glows at night. He does not see what is different because he cannot know. I showed him the date and told him to remember my face tomorrow. He laughed, then looked toward the horizon.
The main square is empty and huge, like a stage waiting for something terrible to walk onto it.
Every lit window is a family still inside the old version of their life, and I cannot pull them all out. That was the first siren I heard. One thin sound across the city, and still nobody around me reacted. The fire trucks are moving now, red doors opening, men grabbing helmets, and they think they are going to a roof fire. They are moving fast, but not like men going into radiation. No one is dressed for what is really there. I asked what happened, and a firefighter said, roof fire, routine call, nothing for civilians to worry about. Those helmets look painfully ordinary. I know the names this night will take, but I cannot say them here. The truck is leaving, and I am realizing the first people rushing to help may be walking into the worst danger. I am following the road toward the plant, which is probably the stupidest thing I could do, but staying here feels worse. The air tastes metallic now. Maybe that is panic, maybe it is real, but either way my body knows something changed. There is a checkpoint ahead, floodlights, guards, service vehicles, and absolutely no public panic yet. The guard asked for documents. I gave him a newspaper and a warning, which was exactly as useless as it sounds. I told him Reactor 4, tonight, explosion, evacuation. He told me to return to town before he arrests me. The lights behind him just flashed brighter, and every worker at this barrier turned their head at the same time. A service vehicle just tore through the gate without stopping, and the guards stopped, pretending everything was normal. I am turning back toward Pripyat, but the station is brighter now, like the horizon has a secret wound. That pulse was not there before. I saw it with my own eyes, and I know the accident has already started. There is still no citywide alarm, no announcement, no one running. Just me, this road, and a glowing horizon. I keep thinking I can still change something, but every minute feels less like warning and more like witnessing. People are gathering on the bridge to look at the glow, like it is a light show instead of a warning. They are whispering, pointing, admiring the colors. I want to pull them away, but they think I am ruining the view. Something pale is drifting through the light. Maybe dust, maybe ash, maybe worse, and everyone is still standing here. I told a couple to leave right now, and they asked me how I know so much about a fire miles away. The river below looks peaceful, reflecting the glow like a postcard, and that is what makes this feel impossible. I am leaving the bridge because every second here feels like collecting invisible poison while pretending it is moonlight. I am down by the river now, and the sirens carry across the water like they are coming from everywhere. This paper keeps crumpling against my coat, but it is still the clearest truth anyone in this city refuses to read. The wind shifted, and I hate that I understand what direction matters now. I never wanted this knowledge in my lungs. The reflection is broken by ripples, but the glow above it keeps growing, and Pripyat is still asleep. I reached the hospital, because if anyone should understand danger before symptoms appear, it has to be medical staff. A nurse heard me say radiation and asked whether I had been drinking. I almost laughed because crying would waste time. I asked for iodine, closed windows, evacuation, anything. She looked at me like I brought a rumor from another planet. An ambulance just pulled in, calm and slow, and nobody here understands how many more people will come through these doors. I cannot convince them yet. They need patience, burns, orders, evidence, everything that arrives after it is already too late. Those windows are full of families sleeping through the most important warning of their lives, and I am one stranger outside. Someone opened a curtain, saw me, and waved me away before I could explain why mourning would not be normal. I keep choosing who to warn, and that choice is unbearable, because the whole city needs the same impossible sentence. Every bicycle, every laundry line, every parked car looks permanent, and I know almost all of this will be abandoned. I found a school door unlocked. Tomorrow, children should be walking these halls, and I cannot let that thought go. The posters here talk about discipline, hygiene, schedules, ordinary rules. Nothing teaches you what to do when history cracks open. I wrote, "Stay inside, close windows, leave if you can." It looks childish on the board, but it is true. Something's wrong here. I think I hear something. The caretaker found me and keeps saying I am frightening people. I told him fear is the only useful thing tonight. I asked him to keep children indoors tomorrow. He said school schedules are not decided by strange women at night. He is threatening to call the militia, so I am leaving before my warning becomes a locked room and paperwork. This kindergarten yard is the worst place I have been tonight, because nothing dangerous is visible and everything is fragile. Tiny benches, painted animals, sand paths, sleeping apartments. The disaster is still invisible, which makes the innocence feel unbearable. That rumble came from the plant again. Nobody here woke up. but the ground seemed to remember it. I keep expecting sirens to fill the city, but instead there is this quiet yard and one woman talking to a camera. There is a militia booth on the corner. Official authority, radio access, maybe one person who can do something before dawn. I reported a reactor accident, and the officer immediately asked who told me. The answer is history, which helps nobody. He says spreading panic is irresponsible. I told him waiting for permission to be afraid is much more irresponsible. I named the date, the plant, the reactor, the direction of evacuation. For 1 second, his face changed. His radio just crackled with station traffic, confused voices, clipped words, something about a fire and units moving. Now he wants my documents, and I am leaving because being right inside a police report helps nobody tonight. I found an administrative building, which means desks, call lines, officials, and maybe the slow machinery that could wake a city. The receptionist thinks I am unstable. I think she is sitting beside 3 ringing lines that could save thousands of minutes. I showed the date and the time again. Her eyes went to the clock, then away from me. Desk lines are ringing behind her, but nobody wants to be the person who turns a rumor into an emergency. I grabbed a form and wrote evacuation warning in the largest letters I could, because paper may outlive my voice. A guard is coming, and I am done begging rooms full of furniture to become brave before sunrise. Dawn is starting, and somehow that makes everything worse. Night hid the danger, but morning makes denial look normal.
People are heading to work with bags, cigarettes, sleepy faces. The city is waking up into the wrong world.
I thought proof would feel powerful. Instead, it feels like carrying a key to a door everyone refuses to see. The buses are here, but not for evacuation yet. They are still just part of the morning routine. I am back where workers are boarding, and every open bus door feels like a choice already being made wrong. I asked the driver not to take anyone toward the plant. He checked his watch like I was delaying traffic. For 1 stupid second, I blocked the door, and a whole line of tired men pushed around me. The bus is leaving toward the road I just came from, and I cannot chase steel, schedules, and disbelief at once. I keep losing these tiny battles, but every person who hesitates even once feels like a possible crack in history. In this parking lot, one father finally listened long enough to hold his keys without laughing. His wife is calling from the window, annoyed and half asleep, and I am trying not to sound like a nightmare. I told them to pack quietly, drive away, say nothing if they must, but get their child out before morning routines begin. He is not convinced, but he is moving. That is the first real victory I have had tonight. I helped carry 1 suitcase to the car, and it felt absurdly small against the size of what is coming. A neighbor called me hysterical. I wanted to argue, but the lights flickered and everyone went silent. The building sounds awake now, doors opening, whispers spreading, not panic yet, but the first tiny fractures. 1 family became 2, then 3 people asking what I heard. Rumor is ugly, but sometimes it moves faster than orders. I came into the basement because people are gathered here, storing food, drinking tea, pretending lower floors are safer. The sheets keep moving, though no one touched them, and every pipe above us sounds like it is carrying bad news. I told them to close windows, stay inside, avoid dust, avoid rain. They offered tea because fear needs hospitality here. Dust just fell from the pipe insulation, and everyone looked up together. For the first time, nobody laughed. I left the newspaper on their table. Maybe by morning, when official words arrive, they will remember this face.
Help me. Please, just help me. We can't stay here anymore.
More fire trucks are moving through the streets, Slower now, dirtier now, and still nobody has told the city what that means. People are gathering at windows in robes and sweaters, asking neighbors for rumors instead of hearing official truth. I am going to the roof because I need to see the plant clearly, even if seeing it changes nothing. The wind is stronger up here, and every antenna is shaking like the whole building is trying to whisper. There it is, the plant, the glow, the smoke, and a city underneath it that still looks untouched. The visible part is bad, but the invisible part is what scares me most. You cannot argue with what people cannot see. There are children asleep in those windows, and adults planning breakfast, and nobody knows their ordinary morning is already gone. I tried shouting across the rooftops, but my voice just vanished between buildings like the city was swallowing it. I thought being up high would make me feel powerful. It only shows me how many doors I cannot knock on. I found another kitchen, another radio, another calm announcement. The room smells like tea and denial. The broadcast finally mentioned a fire at the plant, then said the situation was under control, like words can seal a reactor. Under control. I hate that phrase now. It sounds so neat, so official, so far away from what I saw. I almost drank the water, then froze, because knowing too much turns every ordinary object into a question. That glass is still sitting there, perfectly clear, perfectly normal, and I cannot make myself trust it. I think I hear something.
Oh, Mommy's.
Just stay where you are. Please help me. They're here. I keep telling myself I am here to warn people, but some rooms make warning feel impossibly small. I am closing this door softly, as if softness helps. It does not, but I need one gentle action tonight. I reach the platform, hoping trains might offer a way out. But the schedule board still believes in a normal morning. The railway worker says departures are normal, delays are normal, everything is normal. That word is starting to sound violent. A freight train is passing slowly, and I want to climb onto it, but escaping alone is not the story I can live with. The wind keeps trying to tear the newspaper away, like even proof wants to leave this place. No mass evacuation yet. No loud order. Just tracks, timetables, and a city still negotiating with reality. The stadium is empty, but it feels like an audience should be here, watching the city miss its warning. I am moving because standing still makes me feel complicit, even though I know movement is not the same as control. From here, Pripyat looks almost peaceful, and peaceful is becoming the most frightening word I know. A goalpost, bleachers, morning light. Everything built for ordinary life becomes evidence once you know it will be abandoned. I am back in the square, and more people are outside now, asking each other what the smoke means. The buses are gathering, but nobody is saying evacuation. They are still pretending transportation is just transportation. Officials have clipboards now, which means the machine is finally moving. But machines can move too slowly to save trust. The buses look ready, drivers waiting, engines coughing, and I want to scream because readiness is not the same as warning.
People are arriving with small bags, confused faces, children wrapped in coats, still thinking this is temporary.
I wanted them to know sooner, but maybe sooner is a luxury history almost never gives ordinary people. I thought the scariest part would be the explosion. It was not. It was this quiet, organized confusion afterward. This city still has signs, windows, trees, routes to work, places to meet, and all of them already feel like memories. If anyone finds this recording, remember the silence before the sirens, because that is where the real horror lived. I thought the scariest part would be the explosion. It was standing in a quiet city, knowing everything was about to disappear. And the worst part was not knowing the future. It was knowing it here, in front of people who could not believe me.